This is from Art Finkelman. We met in 1960 at some village gathering, discovered that we were born on the same day of the same year. A superficial rationale for bonding, but we both enjoyed the coincidence. As time went on, I more fully appreciated Lou's intellect. He had a considerable influence on my thinking, my subsequent involvement with psychology, my personal pursuit of analysis, my studies at NPAP, all became part of so many interesting activities and stimulating discussions. And yet, he was labor and I was management. He was anti-war in Vietnam, I was a defensive hawk. Lou, however, softened and changed my opinions and did it in such an effortless way. He was, first of all, a great listener. He was reflective so that you knew that you had been heard and understood. And when necessary, he confronted illogical positions. Needless to say, I admired my best friend Louis greatly. We were close. Lou was an excellent skier and a good tennis player, and a very hopeful and improving golfer. In short, he loved sports, and he was a competitor. Louis was like family to me, a warm, empathetic, and generous man who adored Jeanette, Mark, and Jessica, and was so proud of his grandchildren. He had 1,000 friends. I loved him. I missed him. Art Finkelman.
This is from Irving Schill. I feel privileged to have known Lou. He was my friend and colleague for 45 years. Lou was a man of principle. He couldn't stand injustice, and he was not afraid to stand up for what he believed in. On an airplane coming back from a ski trip in Europe, I saw him get into a fist fight with a man who made some racist remarks. By the way, he loved to ski, and we had some fabulous times skiing in Switzerland and Mont Tremblant with the FIT gang. I also went with Lou and Jeanette to China long before it was popular, and we had a marvelous time. In recent years, we had some wonderful times playing golf in South Carolina. Lou did a lot for me and many other people who worked at FIT. He took his role as president of the union very seriously. He unselfishly devoted many long hours and fought to get the very best contract for his union members. He was loved and respected, and not only by the faculty, but by the administration and his students. I cannot tell you how shocked and deeply saddened I was to learn of his unexpected death. I will always remember my friend Lou as someone who loved life, and most of all, his wife and best friend, Jeanette. They reveled in taking trips to exotic places and in just being in their home in the country. My heart is with you, Jeanette, Mark, Jessica, and your families. May time and your good memories come for you. Lou, my friend, I will miss you. I wish I could have been here to say goodbye in person. Rest in peace. I love you, Irving.
Thank you both, and thank those letters, for those letters. If there are any comments or things that anyone in the audience would like to add, please come up and share your feelings.
Sandy Zara. I'm here to read something from Alan Fishman, who was also a colleague of Lou's. I was sitting in the stern of a canoe, circling calm waters just beyond the Churchill Lake Dam. Jessica was 12 years old, and in the seat in the middle. Lou, a neophyte, first-time canoeist, was up in the bow preparing to run the Chase Rapids on the Allagash River in Maine. I was concerned about Lou learning some specific techniques to ensure a safe trip down those turbulent waters. Lou, I said, I think we should spend some more time here in the safety, working on your skills. Lou turned around and said, Alan, I am here doing this because I trust you. I hear you. I understand your view. But let's go. I agreed very reluctantly. Lou could be very convincing. After 3 more days and 100 miles of river, with perhaps some minor canoeing mishaps, and a number of close-up moose encounters, especially by Jessica, but that's another story. An extraordinary voyage of friendship and adventure came to a close. I have often thought back on that moment at the dam and realized that Lou's decisive response, made in a fraction of a second, epitomized my unique friend. He was always ready to go, to take the challenge. No one ever accused Lou of being a halfway guy. With Lou, it was usually all or nothing. Even as a skier, I do not believe he knew how to ski slowly or stop. Lou threw himself into his life, whether as a leader, a colleague, or friend. And the world he was part of is a far better place for his efforts. I loved Lou, not only as that friend and leader, but I loved him as I loved all those who believe that human dignity deserves the greatest respect of all. He was a humanist. He was progressive. His sense of conviction was strong and clear and unwavering. And those who knew Lou personally, and all those who did not, that are living their lives with the benefits that resulted from his enormous contributions, are the poorer for his passing. The memory of Lou leaves me with one overarching thought: the desire to make each day one in which I live fully without regret. I can still feel those Allagash words reverberating in me. Let's do it. Thank you, Lou. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your life. Alan.
Oh, great. Phil? Hi, I'm Phil Millio. Millio, the other guy on the other side of that chairlift that was there. Well, I don't have a funny story, but I do want to remind everybody that Lou came to FIT, where a lot of us who know Lou are from or were from or worked. Lou was a professor, a teacher, and he was ever a teacher. On, I think, maybe that same ski trip, although this is not a funny story, it's a story that was really, really tough. One day, we were in a class, Mark and Lou and I were in the same class, an expert class, and we said, oh, let's skip lunch and go ski Expo. I had never skied Expo before, and I knew it was a very tall, very rough, probably the most difficult hill in Mont Tremblant, Canada. Well, if you are not a skier or you are a skier and it's snowing outside, we have a lot of snow, so imagine a very, very, very tall hill that when you approach it on a chairlift, you don't see how high it is until you get to the top and look down the other side. So when you get off the chairlift and you look down, well, I looked down, I said some words I shouldn't say here. And Lou said, so what are you going to do, Phil? I said, well, I've never really skied this hill before. And I was stuttering. And so he said, take a look. What do you want to do? I said, well, I want to get to the bottom. He says, and you don't want to do it on your butt, right? You want to get down there in the best possible way and walk away, right? Yes, yeah. He said, well, take a look. There are a lot of little bumps in here. Look for about 10 feet down and aim for that one and stop. What's going to happen? What's the worst that can happen, Phil? I said, I'll fall down and land on my butt. He said, yeah. Go. Do that. And then what will happen? I'll get up and I'll try again. I'll do something a little different because that didn't work. He said, yeah. And I did. And I went down one bump at a time until all of a sudden I was picking up and I wasn't doing the things wrong that I was doing earlier on the hill. And I zipped down. All of a sudden I was at the bottom. And I turned around and Lou and Mark were really good skiers, came zipping down and said, hey, how'd that go? I said, Lou, you're a great teacher. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Phil.